What's up, Bulls Nation? Welcome into the CHGO Bulls podcast, presented to you by PointsBet. Don't forget that promo code CHGO when signing up to live your bet life.
I love the way you do that. I always wanted to do it. When you sign up.
When you sign up. And you want to take it?
No.
Take the reins.
You're good at it. I'm not. I do it when Mark and I do our show, we alternate hosts, and that's when I try to mix it in.
So when you are doing one of the Bulls HQs and you're doing the intro, do you say it like that? When you sign up.
Two things I always want to do but never do are the Zach Lowe, welcome to, and the when you sign up.
What's stopping you, Will?
You can
do
don't have
these
the courage
things.
to do these things.
And the welcome to aggressively would sound even better paired with Bulls HQ than the Low Post podcast.
Welcome to Bulls HQ. Yeah.
Because 2 and Q rhyme.
I got to find my own shtick.
You do. Well, because I remember months ago when you were like, do people say to you like, what up, Peck? As in like, what up, Beck? Which is what Zach Lowe says to Howard Beck all the time. I'm like, no, that's his thing.
Yeah.
Can't take that.
I like when Zach Lowe does, this podcast is brought to you by Supercuts. When he says Supercuts, kills me.
Supercuts.
Supercuts.
I love when Windhorse says that. He's just he's a goofball.
Are you a frequenter of the Supercuts, Joey?
No, I've never been.
No,
new sponsor?
Never been. New sponsor.
Supercuts.
I know Will don't go to Supercuts.
No, I got my haircut earlier this week. Did not go to Supercuts.
What?
No. Shout out Belmont Barbershop in Roscoe Village.
You just saw it and went in, didn't you?
No, I live like 3 blocks away.
Yeah.
So when I moved to that neighborhood last year, I was like, nearest barbershop, boom. Because I actually have a buddy who also lives in that neighborhood, and he's like across the street from the barbershop. He's like, if you're looking for a barbershop, I don't go to this one.
Yeah.
Because he goes to the one in his old neighborhood. Because he's one of those people who's like, once I find my barbershop, that's my barbershop.
Yes.
I don't care.
I know.
Wherever I'm living, the nearest barbershop is the one I go to.
We've had this discussion. I think it's insane. But we've had this discussion before, man. No, once I find a barber, man, that becomes your people. You go there all the time.
Yeah.
I was just there today. Shout out to my barber. Yeah, you be right. Thank you very much. But yes, man, when you find a good barber, man, you don't let go of it. That is what you do.
I couldn't tell that you went to the barber today, but I guess that means that they did a good job.
That's the sign, sir. You know what I mean? He just got the lineup. See, I didn't do nothing special. I just got the line. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to get the line straight. I'm going to do something fair in a couple weeks. Then we're going to do something a little extra.
Shout out to Antoine in the comments who said, good evening, fellas. Ready to talk about Patrick Williams. That's what we're here to talk about today.
Oh, that's today?
That's today. It's Prove It Pat time.
Segue Pack.
Prove It Pat.
By the way, Bulls _Peck, Bow, BWL Sports, Will _Gottlieb.
I haven't messed up once. I'm very flattered.
It's on fire, man.
On fire!
Mark messed up.
We are CHGO _Bulls. It's been a fun day here at the studio. Shout out to the CHGO Cubs crew. They had Joe Madden on the show earlier today.
Joe Madden,
Go and give that a view and a listen if you are a Cubs fan. It was a really fun conversation.
Really
and then after we're out of here, Bears After Dark is doing a watch party. So from kickoff all the way through Bears Commanders, our CHGO Bears crew will be here watching the game. Live streaming.
Are they having food? Will food be
I assume.
Okay. Well, Lawrence, there's going to be food. You don't know what it is, but there's going to be food.
Last time, Carm catered in some Giordano's pizza and wings last time. Nobody really ate it, though.
What? Why nobody really ate it?
Well, he was eating it live on the stream, so I think
nobody wants to be on the stream.
It was a little, I don't know.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
When we had the draft show, I was eating pizza live. That was not a great look.
Yeah, but
we
were
have no
behind
problem
the
with that.
doing that, right?
No, I was doing it on camera.
You was on camera?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You don't have to go back and watch that 4 hour
If I had like
show,
a dripping wet beef sandwich right now, I would eat it while we're doing a show.
Yeah, it depends on how hungry
Can you crop Matt out of the... You can just get the
I don't know. People might pay to see that.
Let's talk about Bulls.
That either wet sandwich. Who knows? It can happen.
Dipped.
I can say it's wet. Why not?
No, because those are two different orders.
I know that, but I was like just saying you had a wet sandwich.
Dipped. I never have a wet sandwich. I always have a dipped sandwich.
Mark's right. It's so
Pushing
easy.
the button.
Yeah. It's so easy,
Pushing
man.
the button.
It's so easy.
I'll leave. You guys can do your own show.
Oh, let's talk some Patrick Williams.
Let's do it. But before we get to Patrick, wanted to quickly touch on this trend that people have been maybe talking about through these preseason games and also at practice. Will, you mentioned this when I was like, anything cool coming out of practice today? And you said the second unit is crushing it. I believe those were your words. Or the second unit is balling.
They're balling.
They're balling.
They're balling.
They're hoopers. So I just wanted to talk about that for a second because it kind of – Bulls fans can recall back in the day of the D-Rose, Tibbs years, the bench mob.
The good old days.
When the bench mob was a thing. Yeah. And you had Taj and Omer and Ronnie Brewer and C.J. Watson. Wow. The Bulls bench mob. And it became a thing, Kyle Korver.
My God.
Because the second unit would come in, and instead of just holding onto the lead that the starters had built or giving up that lead, they built that lead up.
That's true.
They were crushing their opponent's second units on a nightly basis. Last season, we did not get that with last season's Bulls. When Billy went to the bench, you just kind of clenched up, and you're like, oh, God, how's this going to go down? But there could be some optimism here, Will, that this second unit this year with the addition of Drummond, with the addition of Dragic, and the growth of some of the other young guys, they could have a really formidable second unit.
I think the difference is, and this may not be true for the entire season, but I think Billy is interested in trying these units that have the full five-man bench units. Whereas last year it was like pull DeMar earlier in the first quarter and let Zach and Vooch kind of do their thing. And then after, with like a minute or two left in the quarter, pull Zach and Vooch, bring DeMar back in with Io and with some of the other younger guys and let them play. So staggering those guys against each other. What we saw in the first couple of preseason games was Zach and DeMar come off together, which we didn't really see at all last year because ideally you want one of those guys on the court at all times. But what we've seen in preseason so far is these five-man bench units that are just flying up and down the court, getting steals, pushing on misses, pushing on makes, like just getting really easy offense in transition. And they're really fun to watch. I mean, Dalen Terry's throwing no-look passes, Javonte Green dunking on everyone. Like they're just a lot of fun. And I was asking Caruso about it today at practice, and his response was, it's been remarkable, the chemistry we've been able to develop just since playing together from the jump. The new concepts on offense of being random and just playing basketball, making reads that are there, taking advantage to the defense. It's been, for lack of a better word, a revelation for the second unit. And I just thought that was great. Like they clearly enjoy playing together. I think Dragic is having a huge impact. Oh, we have a quote. Perfect. Sorry about that, Jay. Dragic is playing, Drummond is playing, they're flying up and down. It's great basketball. I think it's exactly the kind of easy offense that Billy wants to see out of this group. And I think the next step is like, how do we start to blend some of that in with the Zach and DeMar and Vooch lineups? Because those guys like to play a little bit slower, a little bit more methodically. So interesting thing to look forward to, but that bench unit, I think we're going to see quite a bit of it, at least early on in the season.
Yeah. It was one of my, when we did our thing yesterday,
Our top 10 best things from preseason?
Correct.
Yeah.
One of them that I had that was left off was the Bulls are kind of deep. They really are kind of deep. Like, watching that in the preseason, because I'm watching them just put in their scrubs, and I'm like, well, I shouldn't even say scrubs, but I'm just watching them playing the non-starters. And I'm like, wow, all those guys are pretty pivotal, though. Like, we really need those guys. Like, those are important people. And I'm looking at the other team like, ooh.
Right.
Who's that?
Like, yeah.
But it's interesting because now you have this situation where there are probably 11 guys on the team, maybe 12 that could play.
Exactly.
And there does need to be a cutoff. Billy said, like, you can't really play with more than 10.
Sure.
Right.
So you've got, like, the starting five of Io, Zach, DeMar, Vooch, and Javonte, right? Or Patrick. And then in the bench you have Patrick, Drummond, Dragic, Caruso, Kobe. And then you have Derek Jones Jr., Dalen Terry, guys that just may fall out of the rotation, even though they're really good, just because the Bulls' depth is so good. There could be injuries. It's a good problem to have.
Right.
But it's,
and you kind of saw that in their final preseason game when they held out Zach and DeMar. It was like, okay, so then Kobe's in the starting lineup, Dalen's in the starting lineup, along with, Vooch, Pat. And they're like, even still, they had a deep bench when some of those bench guys got elevated into the starting lineup because they decided to rest some of the vets for their final preseason game. I know that Bulls fans were disappointed, underwhelmed, pick your word, to describe how they felt about the offseason, and that Drummond and Dragic were not what they wanted. Didn't address the three-point shooting, wasn't the big splash move that I think a lot of Bulls fans were hoping to see, but it unquestionably added real depth to this team.
Really did.
If, knock on wood, Dragic's 85-year-old leg holds up.
He's got a big old brace on.
Oh, my God. Did you post a picture of him wearing his brace at practice earlier this week?
I
saw it on Twitter somewhere. He has a leg brace that he wears during not games that is the size of a freaking boat.
Yeah. I'm okay with that. But because I'm not going to be dependent on him every single night, strictly because the bench is really, really deep.
Yeah.
And also with that, guys who are going to be in the starting unit, let's say Javante's in there, and we know Ayo's going to be in there. Those are also like bench guys. You know what I mean? Those are guys who are used to being off the bench. So whenever you change that lineup and want to run certain lineups with the bench, you're not really losing anything. You know, as a matter of fact, you're gaining something with those guys being in the starting lineup, but they still have that experience of running with those guys on the bench.
At the very least, it's a different look. And I think that is something that the Bulls really missed out on last year, especially when all these injuries hurt. You had to move Caruso or Ayo into the starting lineup. You had to have Javante in there. Yeah. And then those guys who are really good in 18 or 22-minute spurts can't play that same way for 28, 30 minutes.
Great point.
And so now, hopefully, like you said, everybody stays healthy, but that you can't depend on that over the course of a season. So now, instead of having 8 or 9 guys, you have 12 that can play.
Right.
You've got a little bit more wiggle room, a little bit more margin for error. And as we talked about a ton last year, this Bulls team doesn't have a lot of margin for error. So giving yourself some breathing room in any way, I think, is a really good thing. Yeah. And Dragic and Drummond have been really impressive. It's not just like they're the 11th, 12th, 13th guy out there.
Speaking of which, Jason in the comments saying downtown Drummond looking pretty good in fairness to him.
I like it.
I've also seen a lot of people on Bulls Twitter saying instead of Andre Drummond, Entree Drummond.
Ooh. Okay.
Do we like one of those more than the other?
Ooh, I don't know. I like them both.
So do I.
I like both.
It's hard for me to choose right now.
Entree Drummond and downtown Drummond. I like them both.
I like Entree better.
I like Entree too.
Entree, but it could be food. It sounds like some food. It's something to eat. You know what I mean? Like he's serving
an entree.
Like an entree. Serving them up, man. We got the waiter already though. That's you know.
Or like entree with an E. I get it now.
He be eating.
Took me a second.
He's eating it. I mean, they both work for me. I like them both.
I mean, downtown Drummond is cool too.
Yeah, I like them both.
Gio in the comments said the bench is going to take them further this year. I love the optimism there. I don't know if I would confidently say that, but what I am confident in is that this season's bench, if everyone is healthy, unquestionably better and deeper than last season's bench.
It makes me excited going into those games where you're playing those teams with those really great starting fives. And let's say they match up well, you know, or their starting five is better than ours. But when they go to the bench, and then you have to bring in those guys because this is what's going to happen. And knowing that there's not a letdown for the Bulls, but actually something that just changes. You know what I'm saying? Just shifts a little bit. Like you said, they just running up and down the floor. That death by 1,000 cuts defense is in full effect with that second unit. And then in that transition, like, I don't think another team's bench is going to have what the Bulls have, you know, as far as that depth and what they can do in that transition, and especially if that three-point shooting is going well, like with guys like Kobe and people like that. But, yeah, it's going to be hard to compete with that bench that the Bulls have, man, because they're just deep. They're just really, really deep, man. I'm excited to see what they do.
Yeah, the other thing is, like, when you talk about the way that the Bulls want to play with this randomness, with this pace, that's a hard thing to prepare for. As a defense, right? Like when you come in to play the Bulls, how do you prepare for like randomness in transition? To a certain extent, it's like you just have to be better on offense so that they're taking the ball out of the basket. So with this unit that you're talking about playing really good defense with Caruso and Javante or Patrick or Drummond, I mean, Dragic has looked pretty good defensively. When you've got this lineup that's really getting stops, whether or not it's a steal, like they're getting out in transition. And so that becomes much harder to guard, and now you're just getting these easier points throughout the course of the game that you were never getting last year. And so if or when Lonzo does come back, one, he fits that perfectly. He's gonna slide right in, and two, it extends the depth even further and makes you that much more dangerous. So I think they're just insulating themselves against the problems that they've had last year. I agree they didn't really add too much shooting, but they're trying to mitigate that shooting in other ways, and I think transition is a big part of it.
Can I ask you, when you said that the bench, was balling, was Patrick Williams a part of that?
I just meant in general, like over the last couple of days. So the last game, obviously Patrick started, but that was pretty much a bench unit. I mean, Vooch was out there, but these units with Dragic, Kobe, and Caruso, whether it's Javonte or Pat at the 4, and Drummond, or if they're going small with Derrick Jones, like those units with that trio specifically is getting really comfortable with themselves. And all three of those guys can put the ball on the floor and attack the paint. All three of those guys can spray it out to a shooter. All three of those guys can come off a screen or initiate a pick and roll. So it just makes you very dangerous because the defense doesn't really know who to load up on. And that's the problem with, as good as DeMar was last year, he's limited in the way that he can play, right? He does the same thing, and oftentimes you can't stop it. But when he's not out there, what were the Bulls doing? And so this is just giving them that extra force throughout the game that they can go to.
AK in the comments right there with you saying last year's Bulls bench between injuries and COVID was rock bottom scoring. This year's bench will allow us to rely less on Debo isolation.
Because he was ISO king, bro.
Goodness gracious. But that's really all the scoring that second unit had was not actually any member of the second unit, but Debo playing with the second unit.
True, man. True indeed.
And our guy Hayes, shout out, saying the passing and ball movement may be better off the bench than the starting lineup. Certainly possible.
True indeed.
But if they want to rely on that to get their offensive looks and get most of them in transition, as opposed to Zach and DeMar can get looks in half-court offense. Vooch can get his looks in half-court offensive sets. The second unit just wants to be about running up and down, playing run and gun offense.
It's true.
They appear to have the pieces to do that right now.
I think they're trying to blend that into the offense with the starting unit too. That's part of the reason why I think Javonte is going to be in there, is because he really gets out in transition. Io has been working on that a ton, just playing with pace. It's like all he's talked about is just like making reads and understanding the game and processing it at the speed that he wants to play, which is fast paced. We know Zach can get out and just turn around a 360 dunk on there, but DeMar, I think, likes to walk it up, but he also benefits from this extra spacing. And so I think he's bought in. Billy said he was bought in today. What I was going to say is, do we even want to acknowledge Marquet's comment in the...
Oh, I was going to get there. Marquet, when you add a former number 4 pick to the bench, it should be better than last season. This man is a menace. Damn it,
menace
Mark.
to society.
That is classic Mark Snark right there.
Mark Snark.
Dontavius, apologies, buddy. He said, damn, I thought you guys were going at 5:30. You got to follow us on Twitter, Dontavius.
Yeah.
Our CHGO_Bulls Twitter at around 4 o'clock, a little after 4 o'clock, gave
trying to watch the Bears
programming
game.
alert tweet saying that we were shifting from 5:30 to 5. But apologies that you missed that memo.
But thanks for being here, though.
Did you not get the memo? Derrick Rose can go upstairs, and we're starting at 5 instead of 5:30.
Are you kidding me, Dragic? There's got to be an over-under set on how many times I say that this year, and I'm taking the over.
Taking the over.
I'm taking the over.
Yeah, no, smart bet.
Hayes saying that the go in CHGO means they can go whatever time they want to. That's my guy. Thank you, Hayes. I am very much looking forward to this. What would this be? Bench Mob 4.0, 5.0? Because the OG Bench Mob was the Ronnie, CJ, Omer, Corver, Taj Bench Mob.
Yeah.
I feel like Nate Robinson was the ringleader of Bench Mob 2.0.
Okay.
Like that 2012, 2013 season.
Yeah.
When people were like, oh, this Bulls bench.
And Bellinelli, too.
There was like
Marco.
5 years in a row they had an awesome backup point guard. They kept cycling in. Yeah.
Right.
They had productive backup point guards.
John Lucas III.
Lucas was
Shout
good.
out.
Yeah. Shout out.
Aaron Brooks?
Our
guy?
Brooks.
Our guy?
Where are we now? Is this Bench Mob 5.0?
I guess. I like the name that somebody had in the comments, called them the flavor unit.
The flavor unit.
I like that. That's a hip-hop connotation I don't even want to go into with
to me,
you.
that sounds too much like Guy Fieri. I don't need any of that.
No. It's really Queen Latifah, but
okay.
Yeah, it's her crew. They were called the flavor unit back in the day. So I get why he's saying it, but I liked it. I like the Flavor Unit. But what else
my head thinks Flavor Town, and I don't like that.
And you don't like Guy
I
Fieri?
went, I went straight to Flavor Town.
I went straight to Flavor Town.
Our
took
guy
me to
Brandon
Flavor
from
Town.
Denver is here, remember? And when they were helping us launch CHGO all the way back in March, and they were just gushing about all the amazing Chicago food that they had while they were
Yes,
here, they
yes.
said the one bad meal they had in Chicago was Guy Fieri's Flavor Town. And we were like, dude, what Chicagoan told you to go to Guy Fieri's restaurant?
Nobody told you that.
Nobody.
And also, just a quick note, breaking news. Hoodie Wonder is outside, guys.
Oh.
He is here.
Yeah,
Look at him.
he's out earlier.
It's
He
a
had
zippy
He's out
hoodie.
early.
And there is no shirt,
No shirt
under
under.
no shirt
the zippy
under
hoodie.
it.
And
No
gym
shirt.
shorts on, despite
And
the
gym
weather.
shorts, man.
And
You guys are one
talking
and the same.
to Nobody? Talking to himself?
What you say, got a heater? Is that what you called it?
Yeah, heaters.
Got a heater out there. Yeah, he does.
Darts. I thought I called it a
A
dart.
dart. Yes, you did say that. You did. Yes. I like the white guy disconnect.
Hey.
Yes. They get the Queen Latifah. They feel me. It's the white guy disconnect. It's all right. That's why I'm here. It's why I'm here, man. It's why I'm here to help to bring that connection together.
It's all love.
Yes.
All love.
And that's all it's ever going to be.
Real quick before we take our sponsor break, Flipside said it's JR from Grand Rapids. What up, JR?
JR.
Long timer. Who said, what do you guys think Stacy's nickname for Dalen Terry is going to be? We need something better than just DT. How about Taz, since he's like the Tasmanian devil out on the floor?
Ooh.
Terry, Taz. Yeah, I do like Taz.
The things,
But
no.
there is something just beautifully simplistic about DT.
Yeah. It's something there. I don't know. I don't know if we can grab it or touch it yet, but it's something there. But until
What
then,
I do know is I have faith in Stacy to come up with a
Yes.
great
I
nickname.
feel like I
Correct.
was just gonna say the beauty of Stacey King's nicknames is that it just comes out one day.
Correct. Correct.
Like remember when he came up with the paw? I don't
Yes.
remember they were playing the Clippers, but he just like I think it was a dunk and Patrick dunked it. And
Yeah.
He was like the paw, the claw, the paw.
Yeah.
And he just like realized in
paw.
the moment
Right.
that's what it was.
Speaking of bench mob, one of my favorite underrateds from Stacy, Omer Sheik. So you like, when a Sheik would dunk, he would, oftentimes call him the Turkish hammer.
Yes.
But then there was this one time where Omer had this really like beautiful, eloquent step through Euro lay-in for a guy his size, and Stacy in the mic just goes, "Ooh, Turkish delight," and I was like, "Yep, that's a winner right there."
Oh man.
And that that just rolled right
can't
out of Stacy's brain
You can't
in
stop
that
him.
moment
you
in
can only
time.
help to contain him.
That's all you can do. That's all you can do, man. So yeah, I'm looking forward to new nicknames for these new players on the team. Stacey always anoints it correctly, man. So yeah, it should be fun. More fun stuff in the season, man. That is right around the corner. It's right around the corner.
All
destroy
right.
it.
Today's
You are
episode,
dangerous.
Prove It Pat, coming up next. Today's episode brought to you guys by one of our new sponsors here at CHGO, Shady Rays.
Shady Rays.
They never
Shady
understood
Rays.
at Shady Rays why
Shady
sunglasses
Rays.
were so expensive, so they set out to change it.
That's what they did.
You don't have to break the bank for quality sunglasses this fall because our friends at Shady Rays have you covered. Shady Rays are premium polarized shades featuring world-class optical clarity,
World-class.
substantial durability, and styles catered to everyone and every lifestyle. And the best part about Shady Rays is that they have the most insane protection program in all of eyewear. Lost and broken replacement. If you lose or break your shades on day one, Dave,
Right.
they told us they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked.
Shut up.
If the goat here drops his sunglasses in a lake while he's out living his Brazilian best life,
Sounds feasible.
if he
On my
drops
way
his
to the
sunglasses
United
off a
Center,
Brazilian
I'm here
cliffside, anything, they'll replace them for you.
They'll do that.
Shady Rays also provide 10 meals to fight hunger in America with every single order placed,
Word.
and have donated over 20 million meals to date.
Awesome.
Love that.
Yes.
And right now, exclusively for our CHGO Bulls listeners and viewers, Shady Rays is running their deepest deal of the season. With promo code CHGO, you can get 50% off 2 or more pairs at shadyrays.com. That's basically buy one, get one free. You can get 2 pairs for as low as $54. 2 pairs of shades, $54. Redeem only at shadyrays.com, where you can find all their newest and best shades. And one
All of
more
it.
time, that promo code is CHGO at shadyrays.com
Shady.
for 50% off 2 or more pairs of shades. I can't wait
Get on Slim
to put
Shady.
mine on my face.
And look as cool as you want to look. And you know why also looking cool? because he is on day 9 of your Athletic Greens there, sir?
Well, I think we're at day 12 now.
Day 12?
Day 12, baby.
Double digited out here, baby.
Got my Athletic Greens right here.
I'll allow this because he has already had his 75 higher quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source, superfoods, probiotics, and my sweet Lord. The adaptogens, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, let them seep into your soul. Help you start your day right. That special blend of ingredients support your gut health, nervous system, immune system, energy, recovery, focus, and your aging. All the things you would want to take care of. Costs you less than $3 a day. You're investing in that all-in-one nutritional insurance. It's vegan, dairy-free, gluten-free, contains less than 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals, or artificial anything. I was waiting for you. I thought you were going to drop it. I thought you was
I was
coming
going
with
to say it with you.
Oh, you want to be okay? All right. Tag team back again.
Artificial.
All right. Let's do this then. All right, and it does all this while still tasting amazing.
Whoop, there it is.
Very good, man. I'm proud of you right now. Don't take the word for the man who just fist bumped me right there, though, on day 12. More so, take the word of this man over here with that perfectly coiffed hair, where it looks like that hoodie was specially made for him because he is ready to go. His name is Will to Go Gottlieb, and he gets down with Athletic Greens.
I sure do. And I think I'm on day probably 100 and something. 100 and
Well, you got to show me up, man.
I keep saying this. I keep saying this because my biggest accomplishment with it is that you are now on board.
Yes.
True.
It's a great thing. It's a really great thing.
Your words of encouragement and your positive reviews definitely led me closer
Push
to
you over the edge, and now you're joining us on the light side.
You can lead a horse to
Light side of
Athletic
the
Greens, but you
force.
can't make him drink it. But you did get this horse to drink Athletic Greens.
You got it. Yeah.
Well done. Well said. It's a poet. It's amazing. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens are going to give you a free 1-year supply of that immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs. Count them out. 5 of them things with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com / CHGO Bulls. That's athleticgreens.com / CHGO Bulls to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance, because it's Athletic Greens. You scoop it, you dump it, you shake it, you drink it. Joey?
You feel it.
He was ready for that pass.
Can you feel it drinking it you want tonight?
Doom, doom, doom.
Oh, Lord.
Doom, doom. Thank you, Jason. Very nice.
All right, guys. You want to talk about Pat? Let's talk about Pat.
Pow.
Patrick Sir Williams. Obviously, maybe the most contentious player that Bulls fans have been discussing leading up into this fresh season. Expectations high. Wondering if he is going to end up coming off the bench to start the season with the way that Javonte played in preseason. We'll see. Either way, we're going to look at a little bit of Pat tape from their preseason finale against the Bucks, and then we are going to have our Pat Prove It time, where we each set out a goal that we want Pat to accomplish this season. But let's start by looking at some tape from that Bucks game.
Let's do it.
And this was actually a series of plays that our pal Marquet clipped together.
Shout out.
Bless his heart, while he was watching that game. All right, so this first one I like because he's not involved in the play, but he's moving. You're going to constantly see him moving, and that's really a theme for a lot of these that we're going to look at. So there he is under the paint fighting for positioning. His man leaves him, and he says, well, hey, I'm here right here. Get some work on the offensive boards. Will, you talked about how Billy has been harping on getting more offensive rebounds and second chance scoring opportunities this season, and that Drummond will be a big part of that, but who's to say that Pat can't be a big part of that?
He absolutely should be. He's a very good offensive rebounder, and I think this was before any of his 5 dunks. I got to say, when I was watching this, I was like, Patrick,
right,
dunk that
ball.
Yeah,
right.
We were screaming it.
Good for him for staying there and having that positioning, and it was kind of whoever that was for just completely refusing to box Pat out and was like, here, you want this offensive rebound,
right?
But you got to finish that play stronger than he did.
Not the first time he scored on a goaltend. Zion blocked him on that time he did the Euro step.
Yep.
Go up and dunked that.
We're going to see another one in this selection of plays that we've clipped together.
Few to choose from.
Yeah, because those are the things I kept saying. I like the strong start, but I need the strong finish. So it's like I need him to finish it. You know what I'm saying? As Jay-Z said, finish your breakfast. Like I need him to eat. You know what I'm saying? Get everything, bro. Like you made the move, you did everything right.
Right.
Now get your reward. You know what I mean? It's like he needed, And I'm honestly, this was a turning point for me in the game for him, that block, because you saw it change for him immediately after that. I'm sure we'll get into it. But yeah, just talking about the rebound, though, I love the explosion that he has when he goes up for those rebounds because it's always out of nowhere.
Right.
That explosion, you always forget his leaping ability until you see that. You're like, whoa, that was really powerful.
And here's the thing about Patrick and what Billy has said about him specifically is that they need to figure out ways for him to impose his athleticism on the game. And when he runs down to the corner and he's standing there while there's a opposite side pick and roll and DeMar gets to his spots or whatever, and the first time he touches the ball, Caruso was talking about this today, like the first time he touches the ball, he's got to shoot it with 8 seconds left on the shot clock.
Yeah.
That doesn't help you feel involved in the offense. Yes, you're finishing the play, but in these clips where he's just entering the ball, cutting through, going in to get offensive rebounds, like he doesn't have time to worry about the last play where he messed up or whatever it is.
Yeah.
He's got to go get that offensive rebound and go put it back.
Yeah.
So I think this is really good, and that's why he had such a good game, is just because of his involvement in the start and the initiation of the offense, in the middle when he got the offensive rebound, and then trying to finish out the play. So I really like what we've seen so far here.
Yeah, me too.
All right, let's keep it moving with our next play featuring Sir Patrick. Here you go.
Look at that pass from Terry.
Yeah, Terry's a great passer.
Coming around.
Nice. Now,
Look at that.
This is
and
beautiful.
there is the second goaltend.
This is beautiful, man, because this is stuff I was screaming for him to do last year. Like, dude, you're bigger than these guys out here.
See how he maintained his positioning throughout the entirety of that pick and roll.
But what I love is he recognized, run that, Joey. Like, he recognized that immediately. Like, soon as he got that little fella, it was like, oh, nope, got him. Give me the ball. Sealed him.
Look at him.
Give me the ball. Work.
How seldom did we see Pat do seals like that last season?
Very seldom, man. And again, it was only 9 games, but it was seldom. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to just see more of that. And even in his rookie season, you wanted to see more of that because he's bigger than everybody out there at that position with the athleticism. You know what I'm saying? So when you run that pick and roll and you get that seal, I feel like that's something he learned watching Vooch, honestly, because that's what Vooch does really, really well is seal those guys down there and eat. And that's all I want Patrick to do. Those are how you find your buckets within this offense. How you got to talk about Javonte Green, how he gets those buckets within the offense. This is the way he can do it within the offense. For me, in the slashing and the cutting, yeah, he can do those things. That's cool. But Javonte, that's him. That's what he does. That is a way that Javonte cannot do that he can incorporate in his offense right there. Oh, I'm bigger than these guards. Work. Eat. I love it.
And I think what's great about this for me is like, and he's talked a little bit about how he's working on screen setting. As you said, he's got the seal there. That is in and of itself making him available. It's making him put his athleticism into the game because you can't stop that. If he's got you sealed, the only thing you can hope to do is goaltend.
Joey, go back to that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you, bro. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, like, you look at the way that Io's using that pick and roll, great point guardsmanship to just, to just feed him the ball when he's got position. Like, that's a two-man game. I was a big part of that. And so for Patrick to make himself available, I think it's a big thing that he's focusing on this year. Something I want to write about soon, so I won't say too much, but I think that's just a big focus for him.
Rewind that back, Joey, right when he gets that guy sealed, right when he gets Carter sealed. Because I want to show something real quick. You want to run that?
Boom.
Run that.
Boom.
Right there. Look at the space he just created on this little dude right here, dog. Get off me. You know what I'm saying? Like this, more of that. Like, and all that he could do was foul him. You know what I'm saying? Doing that or wait for the help defender, which is what he did. I wanted him to go up a little stronger, but he probably couldn't have because you see he hit his arm right there, so he couldn't do it. But I love the space that he created.
Give me a power dribble.
Yes,
put that
exactly.
guy in the goal.
Yes.
Exactly.
And dunk it.
Exactly.
Like people in the comments are saying,
Yes.
Jason saying use that size. Matt Skizzy saying mouse in the house.
Yes,
Javon
man.
Carter. I mean, he's a great defensive player, but
He ain't stopping
6
that.
inches on him.
Yeah, dude.
Antoine saying, I just want Pat to know that he can be so dominant.
I need him to know it's okay.
and our guy Hayes saying once P. Will realizes he's bigger and stronger than people guarding him, it's over.
It just says Will actually.
Yeah, I assume that was
he's talking about me.
I assume
I thought
he
he
wasn't
was.
talking about you.
I thought he was talking about Will.
Realizing
he's clearly talking about
that
Will.
you're bigger and stronger than these NBA players.
Athletic greens, man. That's how you do.
Put me on an Exhibit 10.
Yeah. Although shout out, I think it was our guy Embrace the Hate in the comments who just was so hyped up by your AG1 read just now that he said he's going to go buy some. So.
He did say that. Yes, I saw. And thank you for saying that.
All right, let's keep moving on this tape,
CHGO.
Joey. We got more P. Will stuff to look at here. Okay, here we go. Another little screen and roll with Caruso. Once again, sealed.
Yup.
And that time throws it down with authority, but it's basically a very similar play, just flipped from side to side
But great
of the one we just watched.
Great positioning on the screen. Look at like the attention to detail there. The first thing he does is try to make sure that he gets his defender on his back. Also love the left-handed live dribble pass.
Yes.
But look at him just say, nope, you're on my hip. This is my lane to the basket. You're not getting in position. And yeah, I'm not messing around this time. Up over the top.
Now,
Do that every single time.
Every time.
Run that back for me. Yeah, keep rolling. Run that. Keep going. Boom. Stop it right there. What's great is he's sealing him, but he doesn't have him completely sealed, but Caruso knows what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? He sees it already. That pass is gone immediately. You know what I mean? He didn't wait for him to get down there so he can make the move. He waited for him. He was like, nope, I see what's going on. I read this. Here's the basketball. Use your talent to finish the rest of this. And that is exactly what he did, man. No, I love that so much because for me, that is more of an unorthodox way to do it. Just the angle that Patrick took was very unorthodox because usually, as we saw in the last play, that's more traditional how he did it. Boom, boom, in the paint, sealed it. He went like, this way. You know what I mean? Like more vertical to get to the rim and then the dunk shot. Like, it's so many things he can do, man. It's so many talented things he can do. And as soon as he just realizes, like he said, that he and Will are bigger and stronger than everyone, he'll be better, man.
Old Bugna said, I want to see Pat attack the rim like it just told him Gatorade is better than water. Do you think that Patrick Williams is the water boy? Is that what you're saying?
Dude, that's a good nickname.
But again, although maybe that's the comparison that they just needed to pull the rage out of the water boy.
He's the water boy.
We need to pull the rage out of Patrick.
That's big. Bobby Boucher right there, man.
One thing I want to point out about this, though, is that, like, this is not just, like, give Patrick the ball in pick and roll and let him, like, operate, which is kind of what they did in that last game against Minnesota. This is involving him on just being a screener and diving to the basket. Yes. He doesn't have to have, unlimited usage for him to get involved in the game. This is stuff that he can do for DeMar. It's stuff he can do for Zach. He can be involved in these plays with the starters or with the bench unit. I know Mark's talked about it. I'm sure he did with you guys the other day, but like this is simple stuff that he clearly can do. And it clearly also works regardless of what unit he's playing with. Yeah. It's just put the guy on your backside and go dunk on him. Because nobody can stop it.
Nobody.
Yeah. We got a couple more to look at in that clip, Joey. Speaking of going and dunking on him, is this the play coming up next that got me all kinds of jazzed up and tingly? All right. Well, so there is another example of Pat doing good work on the offensive glass. Great. Love that. He was trying to establish some, interior presence there in that step through. Didn't go well, didn't hit the shot, but he's right back there getting his own miss.
Yeah.
And then kicks it out, smart, gets it right back, maintains his solid position in the post, and knows, hey, if I just stick right here, maybe Caruso is just going to sling this right back at me, and I'm going to get myself another easy two. Look how he just takes that one little step away from his baseline defender to free up just enough space for the Caruso to give him that ball back, and then, step, boom, easy two. Just activity and movement around the basket.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went for the Euro from right to left, and he kind of went away from traffic and then into traffic there.
Right.
He would have just said left, right, and gone right up. I think he would have been right there, but he kind of just forced the issue, and then he was like, enough, I'm just going to dunk it.
Yeah, run that play, Joey. Just run that.
Hey, DJ, run that back.
Run that. Boom. Freeze it. Look who he's grabbing the rebound over. That is Andre Drummond he is taking the rebound from, man. That's who he's taking the board from. He's taking it from him. Andre Drummond is in perfect position to get this rebound. No, it belongs to me. It's mine.
One of the great offensive rebounders
ever
in the history of this game.
Ever. And he took it from him. So not only taking from a great rebounder, he's showing the aggression, though.
It was nice of him to not dunk over Drummond right away, though.
Yeah, it was very nice of him not to do that.
You can't posterize your own teammate.
But it's just the fact the aggression of saying, no, this is mine. I'm taking this. This is my basketball. I'm trying to do something with this, man. And then gets it back and then finish it, with the velocity right there. I love that, man. That's what, makes me excited watching him do stuff like that, man.
And what makes me excited is you using the word veracity.
Come on, baby.
Woo!
Get the vocabs up. Get the vocabs up. You know what
Love
I mean?
that.
Come on with this.
All right, back to the well, Joey. There's still one more play that I wanted to see where Pat just says F it and goes to the hole himself.
Yes.
I know it's in here
Patrick
somewhere.
F it
Okay,
play.
Pat's in the corner. Here, there. And in your face. Rewind it, please, Joey. All right. Something subtle, but I think important. If this same play is run a million times beforehand, Pat is just going to stand in that same spot in the corner. But he doesn't on this play.
point.
What does he do? He sees Caruso is about to get doubled and a little bit trapped on the baseline, so he moves without the ball. I know it's a simple concept, but look what it does for him.
Yeah.
Instead of standing in the corner and maybe getting a three or maybe not, he helps his teammate by moving off the ball. One cut, he's past his man, and another dunk.
Yeah.
It's so simple.
It's super simple. And again, for me, this is unorthodox stuff, right? Stop it, Joey. Stop. Pause. Like the way he went up, and the angle that he took to get to the basket.
Yeah.
It's so not normal. Like,
No.
honestly, it's not, man. Like, look at that. And
He
the
just
dunking with
used
the left.
2 huge strides to be
Yes.
like, okay, I'm at point A.
Right.
The basket's at point
Right.
B. I can use 2.5 strides and dunk it, but most players wouldn't even think of that as a possibility in that scenario.
At all. And most of them wouldn't even try to dunk that. You know
That's
I'm
exactly
saying?
what I was thinking. He literally needs an inch of separation, and
Yes.
he's going by you and elevating over you.
Yes,
he's
that's-
in that tier athletically.
Absolutely. And I think if you go back to that first play, it was a lot because of that first play that we saw of him getting that boy and him getting that block and that layup. And it was like, you know what? It's beast time. You know what I'm saying? Like, it got released after that. Like, see that? You didn't see none of that in them other clips. You didn't see none of that. And the only other time you saw that, he went up and takes the rebound from Drummond and comes back and dunks it. Like, that's the stuff I want him to learn from, man. Like, I'm not mad at the mistake. I need you just not to continue to make it.
Right.
I need you to learn from it and grow.
I think what you're seeing here, and you kind of mentioned it, when he's on the court with the starters, he might just stand in the corner. Because the goal of playing in those units is, like, you said it, how do you get DeMar and Zach into a groove? They're 2 all-stars. Like, if you want to get a good shot, they're probably going to be the ones that take it.
Yeah.
And so what is he supposed to do? Stand in the corner and create space. But this time, I don't know if it's just he's learning the game better, he's understanding where space is opening up, but he just moves into free space.
Yes.
And that just creates all the lane that he needs. Moves over 6 feet, and then all of a sudden he's got a wide open lane to the basket. And I think that's just this idea of that second unit just playing basketball. They're just moving, they're running.
Can you expound on that for me real quick? You say he moves over into free space. Like, what do you really mean by that?
Yeah, so Joey, if you can bring it back up, I mean, Caruso's cutting across the baseline, and basically he's bringing himself into Patrick's defender, as you said. He's about to get doubled. So Patrick is there in space, and now as Caruso continues on, Patrick is just moving away from the defender.
Okay.
The defender's got his back to him, but look, I mean, he's just moving, he's floating into free space. And from there,
he's just moving into that where
just
Derek
into that-
Jones was occupying.
in that,
Right, yeah. So
in that
Derek
air
Jones
pocket.
Jr. clears out, and then P-Dub takes that space.
Exactly. And so it's simple. I mean, there's not great spacing on the floor. There's like 8
Right,
bodies in the
exactly.
middle of the paint.
Exactly.
But because of the movement that they're trying to play with, and like they just keep saying, I mean, they're just playing basketball out there. I think whatever that means, it's like getting Patrick out of his head. He's involved in the play. The ball has energy. He's moving around. The ball's not just like coming to him when he needs to shoot a 3 with 7 seconds left on the shot clock.
Right.
He's involved, and it just makes all that stuff so much easier for him.
The rest of the clips, I believe, on that were different opportunities where Pat was taking open threes. So we're running short on time, so we won't look at those. But we do know from these preseason games that Pat is looking very willing to shoot threes when open, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
If he's a trailer, if he's the corner guy, the one that we still would like to see Pat develop is a pull-up threat. That might be a little further down the road, but
We saw him working on that.
between his rookie year and last season, he's shooting 41%. 41%.
Yeah, about that.
So that option is there.
We've seen that mid-range him work on that a lot in those
Right.
off-season workouts. We've seen it.
Exactly. Erase the Hate said, "You guys are great. This is Bulls porn, and I love it." If that's what you want to call it, I mean,
Your words.
The stash is a little bit of a giveaway. And shout out to Ronald, who said, big fan of the show and following you guys since lockdown.
Hey, thank you, sir.
All right, we got to take one more quick break, and then we're going to come back and finish up with our Prove It, Pat goals.
Prove it.
While we're reading this ad, hit that thumbs up button.
This one.
Tell us you like us.
Do it. Tell us
Please.
you like us, man.
Pretty please.
Yes. Look at that perfect thumb. You
And,
know what that's-
and subscribe while you're at it.
Obviously,
That's it. Do
subscribe.
that.
Do both of them.
You see, when Will's got that perfect thumb up, it's also attached to the end of a club.
Oh,
Golf, man. He takes that right there.
all in the
Professional
hips.
transition.
Professional, man.
It's all in the hips.
Just easing the tension, baby.
He's not somebody else.
But while he's out there on the leagues, we got to have him looking right. Something to match the perfectly coiffed hair and that amazing swing that he's going to have out there. He's got to look right. He's got to have those amazing polos, those hats, or visors,
Or visor.
the golf bags, and of course, because Peck's going to be there, he's got to have a beer sleeve, y'all. It's only one place to get all this. That's Pins and Aces, the official golf apparel partner of CHGO, and we love them because you get tons of compliments on and off the course. And they are family-owned golf and apparel business, y'all. Like I said, them polos, them hats, them visors, them bags, that beer sleeve, 7 beers, y'all. 7 of them things. Get them right in that golf bag, and it keeps those jinks frosty cold the entire round. So check out pinsandaces.com and use the code CHGO to receive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15% off your first order. And get free shipping. That's pinsandaces.com. Because if you look good, you play good. If you play good, it's all good. Ooh. Pins and Aces.
Ooh.
Run that down.
Man. Today was an
He golfs.
absolutely gorgeous day for playing around the golf in Chicago.
You're
Like
right.
A beautiful fall day.
I wouldn't know because I've never played golf.
I
on
don't
a
play
gorgeous
often.
day, so I'll
but
take your
I was
word
like,
for it.
It's a good golf day.
What's a bad golf day, Will?
Cold, rainy,
Windy.
windy.
Windy?
Windy is really the
Okay.
key.
Yeah,
That's-
raining, windy golf is
To be honest with
no
you,
fun.
the amount that I slice on my drives, it doesn't really matter what the weather is. It's going to be bad anyway. But if I wear pins and aces, I'll look good doing it.
Yes, he will.
Hey,
You don't want
that's
to know
all
that
matters.
he's a real golfer because he said the word slice.
Slice, yeah. Big Dave, do you know what the opposite of a slice is?
I do not.
A hook.
Oh, he hooked it. Mm-hmm. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah. Not that kind of hook. not a Draymond hook.
Oh.
Hey. All right, guys, it's time for us to set our goals for Mr. Patrick Williams.
There he is.
It's time for Pat to prove it.
Prove it. Prove it.
Would either of you gentlemen like to go first?
Sure, I'll go. So Patrick Williams. Hi.
Patrick Williams.
How are you? I like you a lot. I think you're an incredible basketball player, man. I think you've got a lot of potential, but it has to be brought out of you. Here's what I want you to prove this season. I need you to prove that kindness is not a weakness. And what I mean by that is a lot of people see Patrick, a really kind dude. You know what I mean? Really good person. You know what I mean? And a lot of people talk about it like it's a detriment, you know what I'm saying, to his game out there. And I don't think it is at all. I think the detriment would be for him to be something that he's not. So I'm not saying he has to be mean man out there on the floor. You know what I'm saying? Has to go out there, and bite an ear or two or something like that. No. You can be as kind as you want, but you have the physical tools and the ability to be strong. You know what I'm saying? In that sense. And I know he's strong-minded. But I need him to show that to the people, that kindness is not a weakness, because we've seen tons and tons of great players. Tim Duncan is the first one that comes to mind, who was just a kind person who will go out there and bust your ass real quick.
He was a killer.
I mean, he was a monster, all right? So it doesn't matter. Like, that stuff doesn't matter to me, but I've heard many people say that, and it bothers me to a point, and I need Patrick to go out there and do himself and be his game and show them that kindness is not a weakness. I can play this game.
I like that. I mean, I think a lot of Bulls fans have been kind of wondering that about Pat, maybe phrasing it differently, saying he just doesn't have that
thing.
fill in the blank.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that that thing that apparently Dalen Terry very clearly has. Which is, I step on a basketball court and it is very apparent from the split second I start playing that my goal is to not only win at basketball, but to also maybe kill everyone else on this floor.
You feel his presence immediately.
Yes, immediately.
Whereas Pat is a very let the game come to me kind of guy. Yeah. He's not stepping on anybody's toes. As you were just saying, Will, he said it himself during training camp over the last week at some point. Like, when you're playing on the floor with these guys like Zach and these guys are all-stars.
Yeah.
And our job is to get them going.
Yeah.
Because they are the engine that drives us. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's not the same kind of guy who can sit there and say, well, but it's my turn now, damn it.
Yeah, yeah. Absolutely. If he defers and does things like that, I mean, okay. But I need him to know just all the work that he did. You know what I'm saying? And all the things that he showed in that, in the workouts and in the training, all those things. Don't put that to the wayside by trying to cater to get anybody else off and do things like, no, they've tried to make you better to make you better. You know what I mean? That's why DeMar was getting you up at 4 a.m. to make you better. Not so he can be better. DeMar is going to put in his own work. You know what I mean? He's going to do his own thing to do that. No, it's about making you a better basketball player. I think we saw a lot of that in that preseason, and that's why I liked it more than the Minnesota one. Because in this one, he was doing it in a position at the 4. You know what I mean? Like in that one, it was more, I'm the best out here, period. Here, I'm going to run this.
Luka.
Yes, exactly right. He was Luka. And I'm not saying he won't have opportunities to do that, but it's not going to be like that all game long, okay? He's not going to get that.
They don't need him to be Luka.
Exactly. And he won't get the opportunity. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just not going to happen. But what you will get the opportunity to do is run that pick and roll and seal them tiny people in the paint and dunk on their face. And fill the space, as Will was explaining. Get that ball, fill the space, get to the bucket, dunk it with the right or left. Go up and get those offensive rebounds, man. Make your presence felt out there to these people. And then just run back down the court all smooth and cool like you always do, man. So, yeah, I just want to go out there and play and show that, whether he's starting or coming off the bench. I truly don't give a damn. I do it wherever you comfortable at, bro. But I need you to show him that it's not a weakness, bro, to be kind. Because I'm kind all the time, and the damn show ain't weak.
It's true.
So, yeah.
I'll vouch for that.
Hell yeah.
I love it. All right, Mr. Gottlieb, what do we got?
Okay, so I'm actually pretty excited about Patrick playing on the second unit. Not because I think he necessarily deserves to or that he's bad and so he's on the bench, whatever. I think this is an opportunity for him to develop his game in a way that apparently and obviously he has not been able to do while playing with the starters.
Okay.
So I'm actually really excited about this because it gives him an opportunity to be involved the way that he was in this past game. Mm. And so for me, if I'm going to put this into a stat like I have been, there were 396 players who played at least 400 minutes this past season. In usage percentage, Patrick Williams was 324th. Mm. He was 324 of 396 in usage at 14.2%. So that means out of every 100 possessions he finished 14% of those plays.
Okay.
I want him to get that up to 18 because that'll be in the top 200. Mm. I'm not asking for him to be Luka with a 36% usage rate. I'm not asking for him to be, Russell Westbrook in 2016 or Steph or whatever. Mm-hmm. I just want him to put his mark on the game in a way that makes you feel him. And I think he can do that more with the second unit. And I think if you're seeing that, his usage will be up around 18. Like I said, 20 is average. Mm-hmm. So he doesn't even need to be average, but let's get him in the top half of the league. It's a little ridiculous that he's down where he is. Mm-hmm. And I think this is a real opportunity for him to stretch his game a little bit more, whether it's as the ball handler in some of those, games like the Minnesota one, or just in plays like this, where he's just setting a screen and rolling hard to the basket.
Yeah.
Do that and your usage will go up and you'll be more confident and you'll be getting easier buckets. And I think that will help him develop into the player that we all hope he can become.
Mm. I love
that, man. I like that a lot.
I love that. Yeah, I mean,
324.
I was just about to say, when you put it in that kind of lens, 324th out of 396 qualifying players as far as usage percentage, that is.
You want to know something sad?
Low. Not really, but go ahead.
Io was one spot behind him.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm. Well,
325th.
But
it's a different situation
might change.
because he's
it's definitely about to change. Yes.
I was starting the play a little bit more. I don't think that's an indictment on Io as much as I do with Patrick because he should be the ones finishing the play.
Right. I dig that. All right. As far as my goal for Pat, I was thinking about maybe sort of making this a two-pronged goal because they are kind of related. but I think I'm going to give him a break, and I'm just going to set one goal.
Okay.
And I'm hoping that this one goal will lead to more of the other.
Okay.
So when we were watching that Pat tape just a minute ago, we saw him working the offensive glass.
Working it.
Finally. And we also saw him dunking the damn ball.
Kabloom.
I want more of both of those things from Pat this year.
Ooh.
When you talk about someone his size who isn't the focal point of the offense, how do you get your buckets? How do you get your opportunities? And that we know Billy Donovan has stressed coming into this training camp, we need to be a better offensive rebounding team. We got to look at other easy ways to get buckets. That's what we're going to focus on. That's one of the things we'll focus on. You saw it. And yes, okay, that's second stringers for the Bucks that he just, was absolutely dominating on the offensive glass earlier this week, but he can do it.
He can.
If he can do it against them, he can do it against anybody. So here it is. In his rookie season, Patrick had an offensive rebounding percentage of 3.7. Last season, he did manage to bump that up to 4.6, but those numbers are low, they are weak, they are soft as hell. For a dude Patrick's size who's trying to get easy looks and opportunities around the rim, my goal for him is to bump that up from 4.6% last season to 8% this season. I'm asking him to nearly double his offensive rebounding percentage from last year. And that may sound like a lot, but if you look at the top 10 leaders across the entire NBA in offensive rebounding percentage last season, they were all in the 12 to 18 range. Steven Adams was the best offensive rebounder in the league last season, averaging 17.9 or offensive rebounding percentage of 17.9.
Ridiculous.
The 8, 9, 10 people rounding out the top 10 were all just at or just slightly above 12%. So asking 8% of Pat still isn't even asking him to be one of the very best offensive rebounders in the NBA.
Yeah.
It's asking him to double the weak-ass amount of offensive rebounding he did in his first 2 seasons in the league. And I think that is fair and accomplishable.
Well, to be fair, I think I've mentioned this before, but offensive rebounding is something that you decide to do. It's a strategy that you go for, or you decide to get back in transition. It's hard to do both of those things.
Right.
It's a trade-off. So I think you mentioned it before. The Bulls are planning to do more offensive rebounding. They brought in one of the great offensive rebounders of all time to do more offensive rebounding.
Right.
Patrick Williams is a part of that, and I totally agree he can get to that number.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like how you put it because it kind of goes into, like you said, just being stronger. You know what I'm saying? And more physical in the point. Because
assert yourself.
Exactly. Because like you said, it's all a mental thing. You know what I mean? Honestly, it's a decision, you know what I mean, to be an offensive rebounder because defensive rebounds just fall to you kind of thing. You know what I mean? I ain't saying it's easy, you know what I mean? But offensive rebound is work. You know what I mean? You got to go in, you got to fight to get in there and get it. And in all those clips we saw, when we saw him getting those offensive rebounds and taking it back, that's what he was coming with. You know what I mean? He was coming with that fire and that strength and those kind of things. So, yes, want to see more of that, I don't think it's a crazy thing to do. And it would just add to his game, honestly, and get him easier buckets.
The other thing that was, kind of along those same lines, dunking-wise. All right, I'm guessing you guys haven't looked this up recently. In spanning his rookie year and his second season, Patrick has played in 88 regular season games.
Okay.
How many dunks do you think he has in those 88 games?
88 games. Should we bring Cody in on this for over-under on this? Should we bring Cody in? Where's Cody? Cody leave?
I don't know where he is.
Okay. All right. So, in 88 games, Patrick Williams has 54 dunks.
Will?
I think it's less than that.
I already saw the answer.
Oh, okay.
Well, let me guess. 17.
Okay, that is disrespectful. Dave, you were really close. 58.
Oh,
he has 58 dunks in 88 games.
Right there, baby. Yes.
He averaged .72 dunks per game his rookie year. Last year, in his 17 games, that fell to .41 dunks per game. Unacceptable. So the other goal that I was going to maybe make for Pat this year, but I'm just going to stick with the offensive rebounds. But what I would love to see, average a dunk a game. If you can dunk 5 times like you did the other night.
Either hand.
How much more fun are the Bulls when they're dunking?
So much more fun.
First half of the season,
So
they're
much
flying
more
up and
fun.
down. Javante's dunking. Zach's doing 360s.
Yeah, man.
Patrick's getting
That one
let's
fan
dunk.
who was sitting courtside for that one Caruso dunk who's just looked back up at the crowd. Bulls fans love dunking.
They love dunking.
Dunking is fun.
Yes, Jason. I'd like him to show some ruthless aggression. Yes, absolutely right. Absolutely right. Wrestling's awesome.
I don't even understand that reference.
And
who shows
it's all right,
ruthless
man.
aggression?
Don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it. It's
All
not
of-
for you.
Okay.
It's not for you. It's okay. It's all right.
You can't just throw it out there. And
Yes, I
then just
can.
be
We
like,
were talking to
oh, just
Jason. I'm talking to
ignore
my man Jason about it, man.
Okay.
He understands where I'm coming from, man.
Okay.
It's a wrestling thing. It's a wrestling thing. You wouldn't get it. It's all right.
You want to talk some more wrestling? You want to talk about wrestling?
What?
Big Dave,
Okay,
is that what John Cena said to Kurt Angle?
That is exactly what
Right
happened.
when he
Yes.
was like when he was making his debut.
Correct. That's exactly what he said when he made his debut. He said, "What do you get? He's what do you guys?
Ruthless aggression."
And he slapped him.
And he
across
went
the
out.
face.
Yeah. I remember that.
And that was the start of John Cena's career right there. Look how excited he is because he said John Cena. Look at that. That's amazing.
And Peck is disgusted.
Yes, he is. I mean, I told him this wasn't for
Oh,
you.
look at that. It's 6 o'clock. Time to go.
Told him one for
What
him.
a shame.
Told him. He still wanted to hear it, and he heard it, and he's mad about it, and that is classic Peck.
I'm not mad about it at all. I'm about to go watch the Bears game.
Oh, some
Some
stroganoff.
stroganoff.
Beef stroganoff, baby.
Let's get it.
Thank you for tuning in today and all week. One more reminder to hit that thumbs up button on today's episode. Helps us out a lot.
Do it.
Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. Speaking of which, Thursday Night Football, Bears,
Bears.
Dan Snyder.
What you betting?
I'm honestly tempted to take the over because everyone's taking the under, but the under's set real low. It's like 38.5. Is it still at 38.5, Joey?
I don't know.
I think it was. I think these teams.
I'll tell you what I like. I like longest touchdown under 37 yards.
Damn.
Are these? I don't know.
Weird.
All right.
Weird.
Did you not watch last week Darnell Moody?
Did you not see the catch?
60-yard.
Yeah.
He didn't score a touchdown, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're moving. They're moving.
That was one time. They moved it one time.
So yeah, keep it locked here on our CHGO Sports YouTube channel. We're gonna have a CHGO Bears watch party going on
Bears.
with our Bears crew.
Over under
Should be a lot of
38.
fun.
Over under 38.
And hopefully we'll watch the Bears get a victory tonight.
Bears.
In the meantime, you can follow us on Twitter, Will_Gottlieb, Bow, BWL Sports,
Bow.
on Bulls_Peck. We are Bulls, CHGO_Bulls.
Steak face.
Our pal and our producer, Joey, is at
Joey.
Joey Spathis.
Hey.
Kev's about to walk behind us on the set here with a gorgeous Bears sweater.
Bears.
It is Bears sweater season,
Bears.
y'all.
Bears.
Goodness,
Bears.
that looks hand knit.
I like the little shimmy he did though. Like while he was doing that, I like vintage is the word.
I
That's-
believe it's pronounced vintage.
You sound like the ref who's kicking out Andre Drummond for bench decorum.
Bench decorum.
decor.
We are off for the next couple of days. You guys are going to have another HQ rolling around, what, Sunday, Monday?
Sunday, Monday.
Sunday, Monday?
Monday.
And then we will be back with a
close to
fresh
schedule.
dose of episodes next week, which will include pre and post of the Bulls' first game of the season on Wednesday.
Can't wait.
Goodness gracious, that's going to be fun.
go, man.
Make sure you stick around and stay tuned because we got a pretty fun and awesome announcement coming next week, too.
I might flip a table.
Woo! Flipping tables like John Cena.
Excited, man.
For Joey, for Will, for Big Dave, I'm Peck. Keep it locked here. We got Bears coming up next. See Red, be good, Bulls Nation.